welcome to episode 27 of the Knitted Cupcake podcast. My name is Lacey, I am the host. This is Boris, he is the co-host. Boris is a 1-year-old Boston Terrier. Yeah, I changed locations once again. I'm really trying to figure out where in this house is a good spot to film. Hey, come here. If you've been watching for a while, I'm gonna take his collar off so it stops jingling. Jingle, jingle. If you've been watching for a while, you may recognize this spot as where I first podcast when I moved here. I'm in Eastern Oregon, by the way. And so I thought I'd try in front of my yarn cabinet once again. You can see my stash. It's a little crazy. I've got a lot of yarn that I've acquired in the last like 9 months. It's crazy. We'll get into that a little later. Let's talk about where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram as the.knitted.cupcake. You can find me on Ravelry as wouknitter. We have a Ravelry group, which I haven't checked in a long time. Sorry. Anyway, we have a Ravelry group, and if you just search the Knitted Cupcake podcast in the groups tab, you'll find us. So maybe, just maybe, I'll get that really going this summer, because life is nuts right now. And again, life stuff gonna come later. Let me tell you, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that the life stuff is pretty exciting. And maybe I'll just give a little sneak peek. Ah! Guys, it's happening. Okay, we'll talk about that later because, yeah, so I actually have show notes. I got myself a new little notebook for podcasts. I love it because it's just plain brown paper, no lines, no nothing. I got some fun stickers to throw on it, and I'm hoping that it will keep this moving along. You gonna come up? Come on. Come on. Hoping that'll kind of keep it moving along, and it'll be good. What are you sniffing at? Okay, I do have some finished objects this week. You gonna say hi? Hi. I'm sitting on one of the kitchen chairs, so he may not have enough lap space to be comfortable for a while, so we'll see how long he actually stays here. I bet, there we go. He probably wanted to go lay down in his bed. His little house is down here, his little box. And so I bet now that I opened that up, hi, maybe he'll go lay down in his bed for a while we do this. Anyway, I do have 2 finished objects. The first finished object that I have is this. This is not a toy for you. That is my Bluebird of Happiness, and this is going to be sent off to Chevis, who is the host of the Chevirel podcast, and she is collecting Bluebirds of Happiness for Tommy of Squirrel Pie Productions, who is pregnant. And so I think Chevis is going to create some really cool baby mobile or something out of all of these little Bluebirds of Happiness that she gets. But she's gonna, no, that's my drink. She's gonna put something really cool together for Tommy as a baby gift, and I think it's really cool that she's asking other makers to take part in that. So again, that is my Bluebird of Happiness. This is knit out of the Perfect Stitch Fibre Company. Her Dottie base, which is a single ply fingering weight yarn, held double in the Knitted Cupcake colorway. So I thought it was very appropriate to put in my colorway as my bird. I don't know, maybe that's being a bit conceited and full of myself, but I thought it was a cool little oh, excuse me, a little thing that you get, a bluebird from the Knitted Cupcake podcast, knit out of the Knitted Cupcake colorway from Jen of the Perfect Stitch Fibre Company. So it's such a fun little pattern, really easy. If you want more details and you think maybe you want to join in on making a bird for Tommy, head on over to, oh, excuse me, the Chevy Roll podcast, and she briefly mentions it in her recent Not an Episode, and then like not the episode right before that, but the one before that, she really goes into detail. Go check it. Anyway, go watch her podcast because she's awesome, and I really enjoy her and her personality, and yeah, it's great. So that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is kind of a finished object. I'm calling it because the like actual work of it is done, but I couldn't find the right base for it to actually finish it. So today, actually in about an hour, I am heading into town for one of my friends / coworkers' birthday celebration. She's having a kickball party. Oh my god. Like, okay, this person is one of the coolest people I've met in my entire life. A phenomenal teacher, just a great personality, and I love that I get to help her celebrate. And she has got a love, an obsession, probably is more accurate, of cacti. And so her whole classroom was decked out in cacti stuff. And next year she is adding in alpaca to that. So cacti and alpaca, which makes my heart so excited. So I wanted to make her a little crocheted cactus for her birthday. And I made the cactus, but I couldn't find the right size pot to put it in, so you'll see. So this is the pot that I purchased today, and that's the cactus. So it's just a little too small, or the pot's too big. So either I'm gonna crochet another little cacti that fits the size of that pot, or I'm going to try to find another container. It's an amigurumi style cactus, and it is the cactus number 1 Seguro. I can't pronounce it. It's all going to be down below. I thought it was a super cute pattern, really easy to follow. It is crocheted in 3 pieces, and then you have to attach its little arms. But I love it. It was really easy. I knit this out, oh my gosh, I crocheted it out of Uptown DK in the lime colorway. So either I'll go up a hook size or 2 and double the yarn, or I'll just add more stitches, because you start at the top and then work your way down. So I can add increases to make it wider and then do more rows to make it longer. That's the great thing about crochet. I feel like it's relatively easy to modify and adapt to your needs. So it may turn into more of an end of the year present, but I love how it turned out. I think it's so cute. It's really probably my first real go at amigurumi, and I thought it went really well. So yeah, okay, that's all I got for finished objects. Let's move on to whips. I have been fairly monogamous over the last 2 weeks. I have only, will you sit down? Hey, thanks. I've only worked on 3 projects, and I don't think I've cast, aside from the Bluebird of Happiness and my little cactus, I haven't cast on anything new, which is really exciting, because I feel like my whips have gotten totally out of control. You're gonna fall. You want down? Hey, come here. Hi. Oh, I know. What if I cross my legs? Will that make your life a little easier if I cross my legs? Oh my gosh, the last time we podcasted here, he was like 10 weeks old, maybe 8 to 10 weeks old. What are you doing? And he fit on my lap a lot better. Now that he's a year old, he doesn't fit so well. Oh, he's your hi, Boris. Say hi, doggo. But yeah, so I've been pretty monogamous, which is really exciting. Because my whips I've just cast everything on and I don't have a lot of knitting time. I try to make, well, now I'm trying to make the best use of what knitting time I do have to actually try to finish some objects or make some really I've got a floppy dead dog, some good progress on some projects. So I'm gonna have to hold some stuff up, so I'm gonna put him down. He's eyeing his bed. Can you see this? Look at that. We have a floppy dead dog. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, I'll put you down. Say bye. Say bye. I'm sure he'll be back. Oofda. Oh, and I've got the crate. Hey, crate. Good, great. He's getting so smart. Anyway, whips. Let's do this. Whip number 1 is not in a project bag because I have been working on it a little bit. And it is my Sunset Highway. Ta-da! Maybe I've got, I purchased some skein coats from Precious Knits. Holy cow, I showed these off last podcast. I love them. Because I'm a center pole type girl, and it makes my life that much easier. I've got a lot of yarn going on, a lot of needles, because I added in a second needle so I could try it on the other day, and I love it. So my Sunset Highway, clinking, sorry. I hope you can see that because I can't see the camera at all. Hello. This is my Sunset Highway pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I know I've talked about it on many previous podcasts, and I mean, look at this. It's great. I tried it on. It has the perfect amount of positive ease. It's going to grow a little bit more when I block it, I'm sure. So it's going to only get just that much roomier, and great. I love it. So the yoke is knit out of Goosey Fibers. The purple is Trelawney Sherry. The green is Tea Leaves. The yellow is I Open at the Close. And the body, Speckles, is out of Sweet Georgia Yarn, Tough Love Sock in the Rainbow Sprinkles colorway. And hey, how about I show you my progress? How about that? It's not very much, maybe an inch, a little over an inch. So you can see my little palm tree. That's all the progress I've made this week. But it's progress, so I'll show it off. Trying it on, it looked like I probably have about another 4 inches, and then the remaining, something like that, which makes me really nervous that this is all the yarn I have left. Did I do a gauge swatch? No. I've checked gauge now, and my gauge now is what it should be after it's blocked. So I'm a little off, using a little more yarn, but the pattern says that I should have enough yarn. But that's if I were knitting a gauge, so I don't really know. It may be one of those things I have to try and hunt down a 3rd skein of the Rainbow Sprinkle colorway so I can use it in the sleeves. This pattern does have a really big not color work, but color block, color work section right at the elbow. I have seen people do a short section of the main body color and then have just kind of just below the elbow length sleeve that incorporates that color work, which could work if I only have very small amounts of that yarn left, because where you split for the sleeves, I am into the main body color now. So I could just knit down a little ways and then use my yoke colors to finish off the sleeves. That's an option. We'll see what happens when I get there, because I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous now that I still have about 4 inches left on the body. And I don't have, I'd be surprised if there's even 50 grams of each skein left. So we're cutting it a little close. So I may have to go on an emergency yarn purchase, a little panic purchase, to get what I have left. But there's my little skein coats. They're so cute. So yeah, that's my Sunset Highway. We have a sleepy dog. He's sleeping in his box. I love it. Oh, sorry, Pinky Needles. Up next is probably the thing that I put the most work in, and you'll see it. And that is my Liquid Gold by Lisa Hannes? I don't really know. Malhia Designs. Again, another one I don't really know how to pronounce. But, ta-da! I have done so much on this thing. Can you see my marker all the way down here? Like, so my little s'mores marker all the way down here. Like, can I even get that? There we go, in frame. That is how much I've done from this guy all the way to this end, which is crazy. I love this knit. I absolutely love it. It's exactly what I needed. The color is exactly what I needed. I'm knitting this out of Madelinetosh Tosh Merino Light in plus HOLO glitter in the copper pink color. Look at those cables, guys. Seriously. I loved this shawl, and I think everybody should knit this. Right now, especially when I don't stretch it out on the needles and I just kind of let it relax, it looks really funny. But because the sides are a 4x2 rib, there's a lot of stretch in there, as well as kind of the cable lacework in the center panel. So I do think that it will widen when you block it. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. I know there are other people who are part of the Mad May Liquid Gold group in the Madelinetosh Lovers Ravelry group who are questioning and concerned with how narrow it seems compared to how deep it is at this point. So, but I'm not too terribly worried about it. I don't really care. I have wanted to knit this for a long time now, and it's part of my Make 9, and I'm addicted to the pattern. It's really easy to follow. I just have to read my knitting to know what I've got to do on each row, and it's great. Pretty potato chippy. Not necessarily mindless, but definitely potato chippy. I am still, I believe, oh, probably not any. I don't think I'll get 2 rows out of this. I've been blending my 2 skeins at this point, but I only have this much left of my first skein. So I think I'm gonna call that done. I don't wanna risk trying to get 2 rows out of it because I have to go forward and back. So I don't think I will try. I think I'll just cut this off and be done with it. I do think I might want to add tassels because I think I'm gonna have yarn left over. I think the yardage listed is just for 2 skeins of Madelinetosh yarn, or did she use Madelinetosh or Malhia? Whatever. 2 skeins of yarn, and I think that's the yardage that's included in the pattern, not necessarily the true yardage for what her finished product is. I'm not sure. Can you see the HOLO glitter in that, guys? It's so stunning. I love this color. I'm obsessed with this color. And this is in another skein coat by Precious Knits. And it's owls. I love owls. So yeah, I think I'll cut that off and I can use it in a tassel. tassel. Because I think tassels on this would be so cute. But yeah, liquid gold. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm a little bummed that we're getting into hotter weather now because I know I'm not gonna wear it, which sucks. But I am trying to knit it for Mad May, which is a knit along that I just stumbled upon on Instagram, I think. And so I'm going to try to finish that by the end of May. I think I have, of the vertical repeats of the cables, I think the designer said that she did 15 repeats and I'm at repeat 11, I think. So I'm getting close, which is why I don't think I'm going to use that entire second skein of yarn to finish it, which is why I think I can justify adding in some tassels, which I'm all for the tassels. I mean, if you can tell from my earrings, it's it. I love them. I just picked these up today from Shopko. I don't know if you guys have Shopko where you're at, but I love Shopko, especially their clearance. General clearance is amazing. Clearance jewelry, even better. I only paid $2 for these, and I love them. Tangent. Okay, last work in progress are my sock talk, and these are my Scatterby, or Scatterby, still don't really know, socks by Amy Stringer, and I have gotten a lot done. Again, these live in my car, so I tend to work on these before work, if I have a little extra time during my day, if I'm at a drive-through, yada yada yada. That's when I'm knitting on these. And I have a heel, and I used the mini that was included in this sock set. I'm knitting these out of Legacy Fibre Artz in the Kirk colorway, and it is their strong sock base, tough sock base, steel toe base, which I think is a 75-25. I could be wrong, but I'm obsessed with the texture. I'm obsessed with the colorway. I love it, and I am doing these for my May socks as well as the Fancy Feet cowl, so you can see how much progress I've gotten done, which even from the marker up is a lot, but then is even more when you include the heel. So I don't forget, I am going to move my marker up because I'll forget to. And yeah, I love these socks. I think they're phenomenal. They do fit a little snug on my foot, which is not my favorite. I should have done the mini heel flap from Mina Phillip to give me a little more room across my instep, but too late, didn't do that. So they're just gonna be snug, but they'll be fine. They'll fit. It pulls the texture pretty tight, which makes it look really different. It looks way different on your foot. But yeah, I am thinking I'll be able to get these done next week, which is really exciting. So there we are. There's my whips, guys. I feel like it's been a while since I've had only 3 whips to talk about. That's not all that's on my needles, mind you. But, oh, I'm sorry, the chair is so squeaky. But it's all I've been actively working on in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah. I did write in my notebook to talk about stitching, because I have worked on my phone keys wallet from Plastic Little Covers, but it's over there and I don't want to get up and get it because I generally like to film in one straight shot. I don't like to do a whole lot of like cut and paste and piecing things together, so if I don't have to stop recording midway through, then I won't. I'm looking at the time right now and I'm going, oh wow, this is gonna be a shorter episode. No, I've got a few more things to talk about, which will push us closer to the typical hour that we do. Anyway, so FO's done, whips are done. I do want to talk about some dream knitting. I have few acquisitions, not nearly what it's been in the past, and then I'll get into a little bit of life stuff, which I'll talk a little bit about my engagement and how that went down and all of that exciting stuff. So I'm not going to do a timestamp, but you can zip ahead if you don't want to hear any of my dream knitting or see my acquisitions and get to the good stuff, as they call it. Anyway, dream knitting with, well, maybe I should do this in a different order, because my dream knitting ties into my life stuff. I'm going to bust into my acquisitions really fast. There's only like 3 purchases, so it's going to be quick because my acquisitions do tie into my dream knitting. So first I want to talk about these. And I'm missing one because they're on my socks. But I bought the, what do they call them? Skin coats from Precious Knits a while ago. And then One Sock Wonder on Instagram, also on Etsy, has her sheep squeezers, which are skin coats. But I saw this one and had to buy it. So this is for a 100-gram skein of fingering weight, and it's Boston Terriers. I'm that person. I see something with a Boston Terrier on it and I go, oh my God, I have to have it. And then she also has pairs of 50 grams, which are perfect for knitting socks 2 at a time. So again, llamas, alpaca, whatever they are, had to get that one. And then because I just love purple and tie-dye, I had to get these ones. And so these are what my legacy cakes are living in. But yeah, they're perfect for little 50-gram cakes, and I love them. So, and she calls, so her big ones are sheep squeezers. So sheep squeezers. And then her mini ones are the sheep squeezette. And I just think they're so fun. And I hadn't seen the 50-gram ones before, so I thought, you know what? I am so into socks and sock knitting, and 2 at a time is definitely my preferred method. So I bought 2 sets, and chances are I may buy some more because they're just cute. Okay, so there's that. Next up are some D-Stash yarns. And Desert Vista Dye Works, baby. So I've talked about in the past, I think, about once I'm done with grad school, wanting to take part in the Desert Vista Dye Work 12-month knit along, where you knit a pair of Desert Vista Dye Works Desert Vista Dye Works socks each month. And so instead of going crazy and trying to buy 12 colors at once or 4, whatever, I've been slowly trying to build up my collection. So these 2 make for 5 skeins of Desert Vista Dye Works. So I'm getting there. And if I'm just buying 1 or 2 at a time, that's totally fine by me. So I bought these off of the, I feel like, well-known D-Stash site on Etsy, Apron Addict. Like, she's addicted to aprons. I kept hearing Apron Addict, like upstairs in your house, the attic where you store things. So I searched and searched trying to find her shop and could not find it because I was searching the wrong thing. Addict. It will be down here. Let me help you out a little bit. And she I don't know where she gets this yarn or how she's collected, if it's her personal stash, if it's stuff she's gotten from other people, but she, I think, updates weekly on Wednesdays. And each day that passes, the prices drop. So I ordered these on Wednesday, so it was the highest that they would be, but I also didn't want to miss out because they were such a good price. And they were $17.50 a piece for Desert Vista Dye Works. Like, I'm pretty sure both of these combined were the price of one skein directly from Desert Vista. So I'm just saying, good deals. And the next day her skeins of yarn were down to $15 a skein, and she had some good stuff. So this is Zombody Loves the Knit Girls, which this is my first zombie colorway of hers. There is at least 2 more now that I want to buy. I want to get Here Comes the Zombride. And I also want to get, is it Zomware Over the Rainbow? It's the Wizard of Oz zombie one with the rainbow colors, and I love it. So, because I love, love, love Wizard of Oz. So, Zombody Loves the Knit Girls. And this one is Archie and Jughead, which I was a massive Archie comic reader as a child. Archie and Barbie, those were the comics that I read. So, yes. So those, and then my final acquisition is what will lead me into dream knitting, and which will tie into life stuff. So we're almost done. I appreciate you sticking with me. So I ordered, oh, do I have it handy? I think it's right here. Yes. Okay. So a while ago, I ordered this skein of Siren Song from Dragon Hoard Yarn with the intention of fitting it into my What the Fade, because I had one little spot left to fill. And this is a gorgeous skein of yarn. Please do not get me wrong, because those colors are stunning. I feel like, there we go. Look at that. Very beautiful colors. I love them. It didn't quite fit in the fade because of these darker speckles. But the base color, the darker reddy pink, fit perfect. So I messaged Tristan and said, hey, can you hook a girl up and do something, I'm gonna pull that back up, a little custom for me, and dye me up a skein of Siren Song without those dark speckles, because it will fit perfectly into the fade I've got going. And she did. So it's a little less of the neutral base, a little more light pink, and heavier on those darker pinky reddy speckles. And it's perfect. I love it. So really, I mean, I could use these two together in a fade, but I'm not going to, because I have got, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this, but I have the most perfect fade going on for, and I'm gonna try to get these all up in one go, for Andrea Mowry's, whoo, drop some yarn. That, oh no, that was Woolenvine. For Andrea Mowry's What the Fade, which is not something I ever wanted to knit before I put all these colors together. So, can you see that? How stunning, right? Right? Super girly, super feminine. I love this so, so much. So this is definitely going to be a What the Fade. Let's talk about what the yarns are. So I'll start with the dark end, or the purple end, I should say. So start with Teeny Button Studio Night Bus, fading into So Happy Jane in the, oh gosh, Miss Manners colorway, which then fades into, see if I can try and do this, Voolenvine Jawbreaker. The Teeny Button is on a sparkle base. Miss Manners is just, what is it, 80-20? Non. Voolenvine is on her Blitz base, so it is a sparkle yarn. Purples, which this little bit of gold I love because that leads into Barb from Yarn Cafe Creations, which has just a little bit of gold in it, so it definitely ties those two together, which I'm not going to be able to hold on to all these. But then into the Siren Song from Dragon Hoard, and then finally Indigo Color in Cougar Bait, and that's Amy of Periscoping Sisters. So this is definitely getting knit up this summer, and I am so excited. It's my indie fade, and only 2 of them are sparkle, but that's okay. It's going to be stunning. I love that I get to tap into some of my favorite dyers and let them play together in a gorgeous shawl that I will wear this knot out of, because pink and purple lately have been my jam. So thank you, Tristan, for hooking a sister up with the perfect transition yarn that I needed. Yeah, so that is Dream Knitting number 1. Dream Knitting number 2, I've also been on a bit of a frogging kick. As I stumble across whips that I haven't touched in a long time, and I look at and go, I've been ripping them out. So this is one of them. These colors were originally set aside for my Speckle Pop MCal from Stephen West, just because I wanted to jump on that bandwagon. Ta-da! But I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. And I love these yarns and how they fade together. I think they're perfect. This is yarn by the Perfect Stitch Fibre Company in the Weasley's Wizards Wheezes Narwhal Birthday Cake, and this was a one-of-a-kind skein that I think was Narwhal Birthday Cake gone awry, that she overdyed, so they fade perfectly together. And these 3 are going to pair into a shawl that I was inspired to knit by Amber of the Yarn Hoarder. I forgot my prize. I run a giveaway from Amber of the Yarn Hoarder. I don't want to get up and get it though. They're really fun, crazy pom-poms. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. I mean, I do care because they're awesome. I'll just show them off as I use them. There we go. She just knit a shawl called In the Light by Casey Day. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Casey Day Crosier. And it uses 3 skeins of fingering yarn held double that you then blend and marl and fade, and it has built-in fringe. What? It's so cool. I love it. And I think that these 3 are gonna play perfectly into that shawl. So this is also on my dream knitting list. And then lastly, because I'm kind of excited about it, because that's what I bought this yarn for previously, is the 4-day sweater that's been popping around. Olive Knits is coming out with a new design called the Beekeeper Cardigan, and she did this last year for the Stillwater cardigan, I believe, and I bought this yarn for that and then was just like, meh, I'll use it for something else. And it's Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed, which is a worsted weight, and the pattern that she's designing is DK, but this is a light worsted for sure. Yardage doesn't necessarily show that, but just looking at the yarn, I think that I'll be able to get away with it. And I think I have like 15 balls of this. It's in the Claret Heather, and she's calling it the 4-day sweater, but depending on the size that you're knitting, you get more time. I'm a big girl, so I get more time. But, and so the knit along is starting, I think, between July 1st and July 15th. She says there's all sorts of rules if you just look up the Beekeeper Cardigan. I think you'll find some rules with this, and you don't have to knit 4 consecutive days. Like I said, a bigger size allows you more time, but I am really trying hard to knit from this because there's so much of it. You're seeing the top shelf. There's another shelf behind my shoulders, and I've got drawers. So not everything is jam-packed like this top shelf is, but I have a lot of yarn, which this will tie me into life stuff. I am now having to save for a wedding. So because I have an idea of what I want my wedding to look like, I know that I'm gonna have to save money for that. And in order to save money, I need to not spend it on all of the yarn like I have been. So, not saying that I'm on a straight up yarn diet, because that's not true. And if I do that, then that's what gets me in trouble. But I am definitely becoming much more conscious and aware of my purchases, when I'm buying things, how much I'm buying, why I'm buying it. So that extra skein for my Sunset Highway, yeah, justified. I've got 2 or 3 skeins here, and I need 1 more to make it work. Okay, maybe I can justify that, but I have to slow my roll on the big impulse buys. A good deal on Desert Vista Dye Works, you know, that's okay. But I have a dream wedding, and you know, I want to make sure that happens, because not only do I want a wedding, but he wants to travel and have a really amazing honeymoon. So we have to kind of rein things in a little bit, which is totally like, yeah, it's needed to happen for a while, and now I have a really good reason. So let's talk about that. Yeah. So I was totally surprised. We went on a hike, and we went off a little offshoot of the hike, and that led down to a river, which is totally normal for us. You know, we like to explore, and so we did that. And I was taking pictures of the scenery, and he was on one knee, which totally, So he wanted to go on a hike and do it on a hike, because that was our first date. So super, like, you know, makes me giggly and smiley and anything. Anyway, so I know everybody wants to know when, and you guys may not. I don't know. And like many podcasters who have recently gotten engaged, I don't plan on this turning into a wedding planning podcast. But as things come up, because I am a crafty person and I like to DIY a lot of stuff, I will probably show the things that I create on here. I don't know where I was going with that now. Oh, yeah, Oh, when? 2 years? I still have a whole year of grad school left ahead of me, and I really don't want to kill myself by trying to plan a wedding and finish grad school. So if I can do some very casual planning during that year, that's fine, but I don't want to like finish grad school and plan a wedding. That way when I'm done with grad school, we get married like that. Like I want to enjoy the process. I don't want to kill myself. So 2 years is kind of what I'm thinking, which gives me plenty of time to make all of the things and save all of the money and knit down this really amazing stash. I mean, I've got a lot of Felici is hanging right here. I've got multiple skeins of stuff, so some sweaters quantities, some larger shawls, 2-3 skeins of the same color. These are primarily single skeins that I'm hoping for some things I can pair together for larger shawls, socks, that kind of thing. Down below is my DK worsted weights. So I definitely have enough to keep me busy. So that's why I'm trying to knit through my stash, because I have enough. I have enough, and I love my stash. It's one of those things that at first I kind of went into, oh my god, I have to save for a wedding, and those are expensive, and a honeymoon, and this and that, and you know, maybe I should have a big D-stash. As you know, I've started looking at my stash and going, you know what, I don't want to get rid of any of my yarn right now. I love every skein that I have, and as time goes on, there may be skeins that maybe I purchased at one point that I loved, and you know, later on kind of go, there, it's nice, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it, and I'll be willing to part with it. But right now, I love everything that I have, and I don't want to part with it. So no D-stash happening, and I am going to start shopping from my stash more often. So what I've started to do is on my Ravelry, previously I have used my library kind of like my queue. There's a pattern that I like and wanted to knit, I've just hit add to library. They've changed things now to where when you say add to library and you haven't purchased it, it asks you, would you like to purchase it, or have you already purchased it? And then it'll add it into your library. And so I realized, maybe I'm not using that the way Ravelry has intended it. So now I've started looking at what yarn I have with what quantities I have, and have started actually developing my queue. Patterns that I want to knit, and then inputting the yarn into my stash so I can visually see what I have. Most of my single skeins are not in my stash at the moment. So if you go check me out on Ravelry and look at what's in my stash, you can see what I've got. You can see how crazy it is. It's a lot of yarn. But like I said, I love it all. I absolutely love it all, and I want to knit with all of it. So kind of my goal, I think, as the summer gets here and I have a little more free time, because I'm only going to be doing school, not work and school, I think that will be one of my goals, is to fully input my entire stash into Ravelry so I can have a better visual idea rather than just looking at this crammed thing. Having a better visual idea of what I have and what I may need for projects that I want to make. So you can feel free to check out my queue, see what patterns I've got coming down the pipe. Some things I have kind of prioritized a little bit. So, you know, if it has yarn attached to it, those are all taking top priority of what I want to knit next. But what I cast on next may not be number one in my queue. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. So I think like the shawl that I want to use these for is 5 or 6, but I keep staring at that caked up yarn and I want to knit with it. So yeah, as soon as I'm done with my liquid gold, maybe I cast that on. I don't really know. I don't think it really matters, but I'm trying to at least develop my queue and placing patterns with yarn that I currently have. So that's kind of what's going on. You know, there's cool stuff going on in the knitted cupcake world. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I'm loving everything I'm knitting on right now. And that's why I'm knitting on these things. And actually, I made so much progress on that liquid gold shawl. And as I keep working on things, I'm hoping to just get a lot of stuff off my needles. That's kind of my goal right now. I have so much on my needles right now, and I love all those projects. And like I said, as I come across whips that I kind of look at and go, ugh, I've been frogging, and I've not felt an ounce of guilt or remorse for frogging. So if I come across more things, I'll frog more things. But it's also been nice to see some things and go, oh, I I want to do that. Like, I think I've got some handy right now. I've got some progress bags that, holy cow, I haven't seen these in forever. My Nomi one. What's in here? Oh, you know, just my sizzle pop that I started last summer. You know, I love this and I want this. So this will not be getting frogged. Rather, this will get finished, and I'm really hoping that this summer can be the summer of finishing some things. I do obviously want to cast on some things like my What the Fade and my Into the Light, I think is what that kind of marled fringy one is. And I also have this one, which, holy cow, I've not touched this one in so long. Living in my Mrs. Brown's bag. I love this bag. I want this bag back. I don't think I want to frog this one. I'm hesitant on this one. But this is the succulent shawl. I'm knitting it out of Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the postcard colorway. I mean, this is only my first skein, so I'm not that far into it. But it's definitely the style of shawl that I'm really into. It's a triangular bandana shaped shawl. Skein number 2, and I have skein number 3 in my office, you know. So I have a lot of items that I just want to finish, get off the needles, kind of create a clean slate for myself. And it's been nice being able to rediscover those whips, rediscover the yarn in my stash, because it's kind of given me that passion to dig through things again and finish rather than just buy everything, because that's what I've been doing, which is fine. But now let's use it, because I mean, it's just sitting in there and it's not being used, and it kind of makes me a little sad. So yeah, that was a big tangent, and I've got a roll here pretty soon to go to the kickball tournament. Crazy, so fun. So with that, I'm going to say adios and clean up this mess and drive into town for some birthday festivities. So if you liked what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I think I never say that. Thanks for joining me this week. I appreciate that you guys take the time out of your day to hang out with me for a little bit. So with that, I love you and happy knitting. Bye!